Hi, good evening, everyone. Today, in this video lesson, we are going to solve some important MCQs for your NEET 2021, and we are going to solve the MCQs from microbes in human welfare chapter. And this is very important session for you. I am going to explain the questions with their options too. So now let us start with the first question. Now let us start with the first question. So the first question is, which of the following bacteria converts the milk into curd? So the question is the name of the bacteria that converts milk into curd. So this is the question. You can see here the milk and you can see here the curd. And by adding some microbes to this milk, you can make this milk into curd. And the question is which bacteria that can convert this milk into curd. Now let us see the options given for this question. The first one is Propionibacterium. Second one is Lactobacillus. Third one is Streptococcus, and the fourth one is Bacillus. Fourth one is Bacillus, and we know that the Lactobacillus lab. Remember, this Lactobacillus is also called a lab. This Lactobacillus bacteria can convert the milk, the product of milk, into curd. So, coming to this propionibacterium is used for making the Swiss cheese. It is used for making the Swiss cheese, and this Streptococcus is used for making or producing antibiotic. Now, let us move to the next question. Which role is played by lactic acid bacteria? So just now we have seen that this lactobacillus or lactic acid bacteria that can convert your milk into curd, that can convert the milk into curd. Now the another question on the same bacteria, that what is the role of this bacteria in our stomach? That is the question. And we know very well that our human body contains numerous number of microbes, and those microbes which are present in our body, they are very useful for our cells. They are very useful for our body because the products or the compounds that are formed by these biota, that microbial biota, are very required for our cells. Some compounds that are produced microbes are very useful for our cells. So the question is here, the lactic acid bacteria which is present in our stomach, in our body, in our digestive system, whether this bacteria is beneficial for our body, or is this harmful, or is this neutral, or these bacteria have all these kind of effects. That means a beneficial effect, harmful effect, neutral effect. So the right statement for this question is a beneficial effect. So this lactic acid bacteria, usually in our intestine, this lactic acid bacteria, it digests the lactase which is present in our food. So you know that the that lactose intolerance is seen in some individuals, and this lactic acid bacteria that converts that lactate in our, that means the digestion of lactate can be done by this lactic acid bacteria. And moreover, this lactic acid bacteria decreases the pH value of your digestive system. And because of the pH value is decreased by this bacteria, so other harmful bacteria or other pathogenic bacteria, they cannot survive in the place where these beneficial bacteria are present. Okay, so the right statement for this one is beneficial. Now let us move to the next question. So the next question is again on the same lactic acid bacteria only. So now the question is, lactic acid bacteria converts milk into curd and improves its nutritional quality by enhancing. So this lactic acid bacteria is not simply converting your milk into curd. At the same time, the nutritional value of the curd is increased. At the same time, the nutritional value of this curd is increased. And what kind of nutritional values are added to curd this lactic acid bacteria? So the right statement for this, so it enhances the vitamin B12 in the curd. So because of this bacteria, the vitamin B12 content gets increased in the curd. Okay, now let us move to the another question. Now let us move to the another question. So the bacterium that commonly lives in animal and human intestine is, the question is, what is the bacteria that present in the human intestine and also in other animals? So the statements or the options given for this question are Bacillus, Vibrio, E. coli or Escherichia coli. The fourth one is a Corynebacterium. So the commonly living bacteria in animals and humans is E. coli, Escherichia coli. Now let us move to the next question. Which gas is responsible for the puffed up appearance or puffed up shape of dough? So we know that with this dough we make bread in bakery. This dough we use it for making the bread in the bakery. And what gas makes this kind of appearance in the dough? So the CO2 is the reason for, the CO2 is the reason for this dough shape. Why? Because we use the yeast, and we know that yeast produces CO2, and that CO2, because of that CO2, this dough it gets that puffed up appearance or the puffed up shape. So the right statement for this question is A. So now let us move to the next question. In cheese, microorganisms are required for. So we know that for making cheese, for producing cheese, we use bacteria. We use bacteria. For example, for Swiss cheese, we use Propionibacterium. So, what the role of these microorganisms in making of cheese? So, for making cheese, we see two phases. In the making of cheese, we see two phases. One is souring and another one is ripening. The souring means by adding the acids, we convert the physical and chemical nature of the food. Storing means by adding the chemical, if we convert or if we change the physical condition and the chemical condition of the food, that is called storing. So here in making this cheese, we use some bacteria which can change the physical and chemical property of the substrate, and so that we can make the cheese from that substrate. The second event is called ripening. In this phase, in this phase, the product gets its flavor. The product gets its flavor. For flavoring, for getting flavor in the food, the ripening is the reason. So due to the ripening, we get the flavor in the cheese. We know that there are many flavors available in cheese, and all those are because of the bacteria that we use for this process. And storing, where we make that food, the change in the physical and chemical nature or the structure of the that substrate. So the right statement for this one is C. Now let us see the another important question. The Saccharomyces cerevisiae, so that means yeast, is employed in production of. So the question is, yeast is used for the production of what? So here they have given four options: idli, beer, bread, and all of these. So the yeast can be used for preparing for production of the idli, for production of the beer, also for the production of the bread. So the all of these are correct options for this question. So D is the correct answer. Now let us see the another important question. Conversion of sugar into alcohol during fermentation is due to the direct action of. So we know that for production of the alcohol we use this molasses. We use the molasses, and this molasses is just a sugarcane soup. And using the sugarcane soup, we convert the sugarcane soup into alcohol by adding a microbial organisms to this one. So the microbial organisms that we use here are yeast. Yeast are used for production of the alcohol. And the question is here, conversion of the sugar into alcohol during the fermentation is due to the direct action of. So here they have given temperature, microorganisms, Jaimez, concentration of sugar solution. So because of this Jaimez enzyme, we see the formation of this alcohol in the yeast, and the yeast contains very rich amounts of this Jaimez enzyme, very rich amount of Jaimez enzyme. So though we use yeast, the main enzyme that is involved in this process is called the Jaimez. So the right option or the right statement for this question is C. Now let us go to the next question. The next question is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. That means again that yeast only is used in the production of what? So the same question appeared here again. So idli, beer, bread, and all of these. So it is used for the production of all of these products. Now let us see the next question. Which bacterium helps in the production of Swiss cheese? So here you can see the Swiss cheese, and the Swiss cheese is very well known to us because of the characteristic design or the pattern when you slice these cheese. So when you slice this cheese, you can see these characteristics of holes on the cheese. So that's why it's very well known. So what organism is used for making this cheese is the question here. So let us read the statements. Propionibacterium sermani, Trichoderma polysporum, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Aspergillus niger. And in this, Aspergillus niger is used for making the citric acid, and Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used for making ethanol. Also, it can be used in the bakery. So then Trichoderma polysporum. This Trichoderma polysporum forms a symbiotic relationship with the plant roots. It forms a symbiotic relationship with the plant roots. Thereby, the plant is protected from the other pathogenic bacteria. At the same time, this trichoderma, it gets the carbohydrates for its metabolic activities from the plant roots. Then let us see the another one, this Propionibacterium shermani, and this Propionibacterium shermani is used for making the Swiss cheese. Now let us see the statement based questions. The question is here, baculoviruses are excellent candidates for. The question is baculoviruses. So baculoviruses are used as biological controls. So they are used as a biological control. We know that. So these baculoviruses, they kill the insects and other arthropods. And the question is here, the baculoviruses are excellent candidates for. Let us read the statements. They are species specific narrow spectrum pesticidal applications, species specific broad spectrum pesticidal applications. They are species specific narrow spectrum insecticidal applications. They are species specific broad spectrum insecticidal applications. So they are insecticidal applications. First of all, they are insecticidal applications. They are species specific, narrow spectrum insecticidal applications. So the right statement for this question is C. Now let's see the next question. Which one of the following statements regarding BOD is true? So here they have given four statements. In out of these four, only one statement is correct or the true regarding the BOD, and remaining three are not correct. They are false. Now we have to identify the statement which is true regarding the BOD, and we know what is BOD. BOD means amount of oxygen is required for oxidizing the food which is present in the 1 liter of wastewater or polluted water. So how much, that means how amount of oxygen required for oxidizing the food by microorganisms in the 1 liter of this polluted water. So that is the BOD. If organic matter is more in this 1 liter, obviously organic matter is more, so that bacteria uses more oxygen. It uses more oxygen for oxidizing this complete food, that means complete organic matter. If this 1 liter contains very less amount, so the bacteria use very less amount of the oxygen, uses less amount of the oxygen for oxidizing this organic matter. So that means if the bacteria consumes more amount of oxygen, that indicates highly polluted water. If the bacteria consumes very less amount of water, that indicates it is a good water or a pure water. So now let us read the statements given for this question. The greater water, more it is polluting potential. So BOD is more, that indicates the more polluting potential. Yes, it is correct. Then the greater the BOD of wastewater, less it's a polluting potential. No, it's wrong. The polluting potential is also more, not the less. Next question, the lesser the BOD of wastewater, more is its polluting potential. No, lesser the BOD means that is lesser the polluting potential. So this is also not correct. Now let us see the fourth statement. The lesser the BOD of wastewater, less its polluting potential. So here the lesser the BOD of wastewater, less is its polluting potential. Yes, it is the correct. So the first one is the greater the BOD of wastewater, more it's a polluting potential. So here two statements are true regarding this. So A and D both are true here, that you have to remember. So lesser the BOD, lesser the pollution potential. Higher the BOD, higher the polluting potential. Now let us see the another question. Which one of the following is not true about antibiotics? So the question is here, which one of the following is not true about the antibiotics? So coming to here, the first antibiotic was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Yes, penicillin is the first antibiotic, and that was discovered by Alexander Fleming. The term antibiotic was coined by a Waxman in 1942. Not true. The question is not true. Which one of these? Which one of the following is not true? That means three are true and one is false. Now we have to identify the false statement here. So some persons can be allergic to a particular antibiotic. Yes, for example, penicillin. So only that means some individuals allergic to this penicillin antibiotic. So next one is, each antibiotic is effective only against one particular kind of germ. No. So antibiotics are not specific to only one kind of bacteria or one kind of and wastes for producing the biogas. So we can use it for producing the biogas, so that we can most profitably minimize this waste. So now let us see the next question. Ben- Benefits of mycorrhiza are. The question is benefits of mycorrhiza are. Mycorrhiza is a fungus which forms a symbiotic relationship with the roots of the plant. So it lives on the roots of the plant. So now we should find out what are the benefits that this plant get because of this mycorrhiza. The first one is resistance to root-borne pathogens. Yes, because of this mycorrhizae. So this mycorrhizae can be used. It can be used as a biological control. When this fungus is in the soil, that means in the near to roots, so that the other pathogens they cannot infect this plant, they cannot attack this plant, they cannot cause disease for this plant. So the plant get resistance to these pathogens is correct. So this statement is correct. Next, tolerance of salinity and absorption of phosphorus. Yes, the phosphorus is also absorbed more by the plant because of this fungus. Because of this fungus, the plant now absorbs more amount of the phosphorus. At the same time, the plant gets a tolerance for the salinity. The third one is tolerance to drought. Then fourth one is overall increase in the plant growth and development. So the tolerance to drought also increase. The tolerance to drought also increases in the plant, and also the overall increase in the plant growth and development is possible. So all of these are correct regarding this mycorrhizae. That's why it is very, very, very useful for the farmers. Now let us see the next question. Organic farming includes. So the question is organic farming includes. So now here four statements are given. So let us see use of fertilizers and pesticides of biological origin. That means organic farming means using of fertilizers and pesticides or integrated pest management program or locally developed pest resistant varieties. D is all of the above. So here um, four statements are given. So the first one is use of fertilizers and pesticides. Fertilizers and pesticides, they are pesticides of biological origin, fertilizers of the biological origin and the pesticides of biological origin. So if we use such kind of fertilizers and pesticides, for example, just now we have discussed one pesticide that is called baculovirus, and also we have discussed mycorrhiza. Also the fertilizers like rhizobium, anabina, nostoc. So if we use this kind of microbial organisms for agriculture, then that farming, that kind of agriculture is organic farming. So the right statement for this one is only A, not the locally developed pest resistant varieties, not integrated pest management program. So organic farming means using biologically origin fertilizers and pesticides. Now let us see the next question. What are the advantages of the gobar gas over the conventional utilization? So the question is, what are the advantages by using? So what advantages that we get because of this gobar gas? See, it is most efficient source of energy that we know that it is the most efficient source for energy. Like it produces. So it produces. That means the gas. That gas we can use for our cooking gas. So this biogas is used as a cooking gas. Next, it is used as a good fertilizer. Yes, the manure, that organic manure, the product of this biogas, that means the product of the compost, we get that organic manure, and that manure is really a good fertilizer for the crops. And the third one, it reduces the chances of spreading pathogens. Yes, see, some pathogens through cow dung, some pathogens in the cow dung, they cause some lung diseases for the farmers. If we use this process, if we use this gobar gas technology, if we use the cow dung for the gobar gas production, so that we never see a spreading of these pathogens, we never see a spreading of these pathogens. So that's why the gobar gas is more advantageous than the conventional utilization, because it is a source of energy and it can be used as a fertilizer, and it also reduces the spreading of the pathogens. So all of these statements are correct. Now let us see the next question. Which of the following statement is correct? That means here four statements are given and three are not true, three are not true, only one is true. So which one is correct? That we have to identify here. Methylobacterium is an aerobic bacterium found in rumen of cattle. No, it is an anaerobic bacterium, and it found in rumen cattle. It is, this part of sentence is correct. This part of statement is correct. That means it found in the rumen of cattle, but it is an anaerobic bacteria. Then biogas is pure methane. No, biogas also contains what? Hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide plus this methane. So it's not a pure methane. Then activated sludge sediment in settlement tanks of sewage treatment plants is a rich source of aerobic bacteria. Yes, activated sludge. You know that what is activated sludge and what is primary sludge. In activated sludge, these aerobic bacteria are more in number. That's why we use again this activated sludge as an inoculum in the aeration tanks. We use these activated sludge as inoculum. Then what is the D statement here? Biogas is produced by the activity of aerobic bacteria and animal waste. So biogas is produced by the activity of aerobic bacteria and animal waste. So the statement, it is an anaerobic bacteria. So biogas is produced by the activity of anaerobic bacteria and animal waste. So the statement. So now let us see the next question. Which one of the following is the most important role of microbes for the well-being of humans? So here they have given four statements. In these four statements, we have to identify the important role of these microbes in the well-being of humans. All these are all these are highly useful for the well-being of the human, and we have to identify which one is most important among these four. All four are useful for the well-being of the humans. Now we have to identify the one which is more important here. One is sewage treatment, they have given sewage treatment. Second one, production of methane. Third one, biological control of plant diseases, and fourth one is conversion of milk to curd. So in these four, the C is more important for the well-being of humans, because we know the plants are very susceptible. They are very sensitive for many kinds of plant diseases, many kinds of diseases which are caused again by microbes only. So the yielding of the plants, that means crops, decreasing because of these diseases, and finally it creates a food scarcity. The main important role, the most important role of microorganisms or the well-being of in the well-being of humans is biological control of the plant diseases. Now let us see the last question for this video lesson. So if you like my videos, please subscribe my channel and also share my videos with your friends. So definitely, I'm telling you, I will cover all the chapters, all the 38 chapters in next coming videos with the explanation. Explained, every question is explained in detail with four statements, with four options. I'm going to explain for every question. Now the question is, consider the following statements about organic farming. So the same again, the question is on the organic farming, and in this, which of the above statements are correct? So here they have given four. In these four, some statements are correct and some statements are wrong. So now we have to identify the statements which are correct here. Okay. So it utilizes genetically modified crops. Organic farming means they are saying it is a growing the genetically modified crops like bt cotton. No, that is not correct. The second statement they have given, it uses only naturally produced inputs like compost. Yes, this is correct. It uses the natural products, natural manure. Then it does not use pesticides and urea. Yes, correct. So we never use pesticides which are artificially synthesized. We use only biological pesticides, biofertilizers in the organic farming. The fourth statement, it produces vegetables rich in vitamins and minerals. No, there is no scientific evidence that organic farming can increase the vitamins and minerals in the vegetables. There is no scientific proof, there is no scientific evidence, there is no scientific study also. Okay, so the two statements, only the two statements are correct in this. That those are the second statement and third statement, second and third. So the right option for this question is C. So these are some important questions from this chapter. In our next video, we will see some more important MCQs with detailed explanation. Thank you. Thank you so much.